Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of my Let's Play Stellaris with the United Nations of Humanity. I'm PMC 317, and I guess we'd better remind ourselves what happened last time and what we're doing this time. So, the last episode was all about creating the United Nations of Humanity and then their initial expansion out from Sol system into what you see here, which is a small group of systems. We've colonised Alpha Centauri in the planet Eden, and we're going to colonise Sirius 3 hopefully in this episode. We've got a total of 6 ships, 6 civilian ships and 4 military ships. We've got 4 corvettes, 3 construction ships and 3 science ships. Hopefully this episode I'm going to increase the number of civilian ships to 8, so 4 construction and 4 science ships, and get the first fleet built up to something like its current maximum strength of 20 ships. Just to remind ourselves then, we've got our capital world, which is Earth, which currently still has 4 districts that can be built, as well as another 2 that have blockers in. We've got the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and the Industrial Wasteland that need to be cleared, and we haven't done that yet because we haven't got enough energy credits to do that really. We're also looking to build fairly soon, when it hits 30 pops, a theatre which will solve our amenities problem. Then on Eden we are building a series of districts. To start with, we're filling up with 3 generator districts, and then we're going to build our first 3 agriculture districts. Now if you remember, last episode I talked about how I was going to turn Eden into a breadbasket world. I'm still going to do that, so we're going to hopefully end this episode, or maybe next episode, with 9 agriculture districts, 3 generator districts, and some city districts on Eden. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with Sirius yet. It has a lot of available space, but it is bleak, so habitability is reduced. Food from jobs is reduced, and the maximum number of agriculture districts is also reduced. So it may be that Sirius becomes more of a sort of city world, and I might use it to produce things like, in the initial period, alloys and consumer goods. Not sure yet. We'll have to see when we colonise it. Without further ado, let's get started. So we're running at normal speed at the moment. We'll see how that goes. If it does start to seem a little slow, then we will increase the speed. So what have we got here? In Oublion we've got a construction ship sitting waiting. Really the thing that's slowing us down in terms of expansion at the moment is our influence, or the lack thereof. Income of 3 influence a month, that can and will increase throughout the game, but it's never going to get much higher than about 5, which is
construction complete.
Always a limit. Okay, what have we got here? Right. So, again, if I could, I would build in Kavzek, because I really want those 14 minerals. But I think at the moment it's going to be best if we just let our influence tick up, and use our... here we go, what's this? Derelict Irasian ship. A derelict Irasian cruiser has been left forgotten for over 1 million years in close orbit around Nekar 1A, which is over here. The slowly spinning vessel shows no obvious signs of weapon damage, and all escape pods remain accounted for. As would be expected, no power signatures can be detected from within its hull. Remarkable. Issues special project, derelict cruiser.
Situation log updated.
So let's go over to that. Derelict cruiser. Go to. So we can see here that we're still surveying Nekar. Again, as usual, we do want to complete that before we go and have a look at this special project. So we'll queue that as an order. So Celeta and the Equinox will finish the surveying of the system, and then they'll come back to the derelict cruiser, which is over here, and research that. As I might have said last time, this indicates really that all the precursor stuff is going to be in this bit. I'm hoping it's all going to be over here, but knowing my luck, it will probably be spread out here. So we're going to have to get some science vessels going this way, and maybe also this way as well as that way, which isn't what I wanted to do, but roll with the punches, I guess. Okay, so at Oshimir we have the Nobel, which is researching an anomaly, and in Malthula, which is over here, we've got the Cortez researching surveillance system. Field modulation. Okay, so this will help us with our energy issue. And what do we want? We get fusion reactor, which will help our ships, as well as the improved deflectors, and the research station output. I think, on balance, we want to go for the zero-G laboratories for the moment. Again, as I said, we've not met any alien races yet. Our navy's not a priority, really, so we can just research those as and when. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some hollow theatres on Earth, and you can see here that the entertainer jobs will turn consumer goods into unity and amenities. Now, this will cause us some initial issues because it requires 2 consumer goods as an upkeep, and as you can see we have a +2 of consumer goods, so once I build this that's going to go down to +0. So we're going to have to find some way of increasing that fairly soon. I'm hoping we can do that with Eden. But I think our reduced happiness from the amenities is important enough to build the hollow theatres. Normally I find that 1 hollow theatre on a planet will keep the planet supplied with amenities for a good time. Aha! Strategic resource discovered. The UNHS Cortez has discovered a previously unknown strategic resource on Malthula C1, dubbed volatile motes. These preternatural particles contain a tremendous amount of energy, which could be exploited in energy production as fuel or even as explosives. While we do not yet possess the means to extract this resource, we should seriously consider establishing control over the system for future exploitation. Okay. Now, as always, yes, we will of course establish control over this system. It's quite good because, as you can see, we've actually got in our sort of sphere of influence 2 systems with exotic gases, now 1 with exotic motes, and 1 of dark matter. So that's quite good. It will mean that we're still looking out for rare crystals, living metal, things like that.
Construction complete.
This will help us. But it's good to have early on in the game a nice little selection of these, because they are important, particularly in the mid to late game, and when you start to upgrade your buildings on your planets. Right, let's have a look at our fleet. So we've got 4 P-class corvettes, and as I said last time, we really want that to be 5. So I'm going to have a look how many alloys we've got. 171 alloys. I think actually at the moment it's probably going to be more important for us to wait and build up to having enough to build another science ship and another construction ship, rather than a corvette. So I think we'll hang fire with the military just for a bit.
System survey complete.
Good. Okay, so now they're going to go and research the derelict cruiser, which is the first of the 6 precursor artifacts that you are required before you can identify where the precursor civilization originated from. One other important thing one important tactic I like to use, particularly with games like this against the AI, is to expand as rapidly as I can with my science ships, and then when I bump into an alien species I'll try and cut them off somewhere. So as an example, if you see this system here, there's only 1 route in and out this way. So if I control this system, any alien species up above that, rimwards of that, can't get past. They have to go the long way round, which gives me more space and time to expand outwards. It takes a lot of influence, however, to take these places, so in a little while I'm actually going to stop building star bases once I've taken Sirius, probably, and I'm going to only build star bases when I meet alien empires or alien civilizations. And what that means is that it will give me a sort of speculative border, as it were. So it might be the case that we control this one here, and this one here, and one down here, and one over here, and one over here, and one over here, and it looks very patchwork, but slowly over the course of the game you fill it in and you create a continuous space. The other thing to watch out for is wormholes. It's always important to seize wormhole systems as quickly as you can, because it prevents other alien civilizations from developing wormhole technology before you and suddenly appearing in your backyard, as it were. That's bitten me several times before, and hopefully I will be able to avoid it in this playthrough, because while we may be peaceful, we don't know about the other species that inhabit the galaxy.
Research complete.
What have we learnt here? The off-world trading companies. Trade across interstellar distances presents a new set of challenges to overcome. It is critical to achieve the transfer of goods from one system to another in a timely and, above all, cost-efficient manner. Right. Selective defoliants, probably worth it. Population growth speed, useful, particularly for genome mapping.
Special project complete.
The inside of the Erassian cruiser found orbiting Nekar 1A contains the dead remains of its full crew complement. Most of them perished as a result of the Javorian pox that would later render the Erassians extinct, but some of the crew were gunned down by marine guards while trying to reach the escape pods. According to recovered log files, the captain issued strict orders to quarantine the ship after the outbreak became apparent. An interesting find. +1 Erassian artifact and engineering research 150. Okay, so we'll go back to the Equinox in a moment. I just want to have a quick chat about these three options here. So eco-stimulation, very useful, very handy. It's an extra 20% food from farmers. That will be great for Eden once we get Eden rolling. Selective defoliants is going to be useful for colonization of planets, and genome mapping will speed up our population growth and give us access to more technology, and we'll be able to fiddle with our genome and things like that. I think at this stage I'm going to go with genome mapping, just because I don't necessarily need the +20% food at the moment. I don't really need selective defoliants yet, because we haven't colonized that many planets, and we've still got plenty of growth space on those worlds. But population growth is important, particularly as the faster it grows, the quicker we can build buildings. So we'll go for that one. Now let's have a look at the Equinox. Right. I think what we'll do is we'll get them to go this way, and we'll sort of push them out that way. We'll have the Cortez go up this way. I did want another ship to go that way, but I think we might have to explore this way because of the Erassians. So we'll do that when we build. In fact, we can do that now. Right, so we'll build a science ship and a construction ship, and we'll get this science ship going that way. Which does mean we're going to be quite slow on this front and might have to build another one, which that's my limit really. I don't want to build much more than 5 construction ships and 5 science ships. Now you can see here on Earth we've gone from -2 amenities to +16, which is great. Citizen population happiness, almost an extra 10%. 69% stability, it's fantastic, so that's really, really good. We've got terminal orbit. One of the many moons circling Oshimir 10 has a terminal orbit. It will soon collide with the gas giant in what is sure to become a massive impact event. This event has been millions of years in the making, and it is a startling coincidence that the impact has been fated to occur just after a visit by one of our ships. Many of our scientists wish to observe and record the event, but we only have a narrow window before it is too late. Fascinating. Issue special project. Observe moon impact. Okay.
Situation log updated.
So I'll come back to this in a second and have a quick chat about districts. I just want to have a look at the observe moon impact. So let's go to... We've got 1,000 days left, which is 1,000 seconds. But they do have most of the system to survey. And I think, in keeping with the sort of general background of things, what we'll do is we'll have them research the project first, and then... Oops. Let's try that one again. We will have them research the project first, and then survey the system. Because after all, what scientist worth their salt is going to skip a chance to see something that's once in a lifetime? Once in many lifetimes. Right, now, Earth. So, first of all, you can see, obviously, as I said, happiness has gone up, immunity has gone up, great, holotheaters are doing their job. as I warned, we're now at minus 0.2 of a consumer good every month. We do have quite a good store of 1,300, so it shouldn't be too much of a bother, and it's just gone up positive, so that's great. That's good. That's probably due to trade, I would imagine, actually.
Anomaly found.
What's this? Anomaly. Z9-63089 in the Medak system, which is over here. Caught in an orbit around Z9-63089 is a small, unknown object moving at such a high speed it beggars belief. Well, research it then. Okay. So, consumer goods appears to be alright at the moment, actually, thanks to our trade network, small though it is. But what I was going to talk about briefly was the districts. So, we've got 4 available immediately, and there's potentially another 2 that we can make free. I think what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about agriculture so much because that's what Eden's going to be for. We're not going to worry about mining too much because that's what the orbital stations are going to be for. So money, energy credits, that's the main issue, but also housing. So we've got 9 housing available. We want a few more. So I think what we'll do is we'll build 1 more generator district, 1 more city district. That gives us 2 available. And we'll fill those with generators, so we're going to have, eventually we'll have 6 generator districts, and then once we have more minerals, we'll fill up with cities. And we'll still have those 2 blocked off, and when they become free we can assign them to whatever is required. And you can see over here, that little emblem there, that we've got clearable blockers, but that would almost bankrupt us if we do it, so we're not going to spend the money just yet. So our science ship has been built, and we need a new scientist. We'll have to recruit a new scientist. What have we got? Okay. What might actually be worth doing is swapping out our engineering scientist here for
Construction complete.
this lady here. Research speed materials. Or we could use Vance Hutchinson, who is going to live longer and is younger. Let's hire him. So his experience gain will be a little bit slower, but he'll live longer. So let's do that. And we want him to go over here and start surveying that system, and we will have the India, which is the construction ship that follows, moving to there. David Payne has levelled up. The Equinox has found an anomaly. So now, as you can see, we've got a series of construction ships and science ships, and I'm going to try and keep the construction ships moving reasonably close behind the science ships, so that in the event we do find a alien civilization, we can very quickly put a blocker in place to prevent them expanding into territory that we would want.
System survey complete.
Malthula B4's toxic biosphere gives the planet a very unique colour scheme. I see. Thank you very much, Scientist Zhao. Now I think that actually plays into the situation logs. Habitable world survey, yeah. So see, now we've surveyed 2 of the 8 potential worlds. And they are still investigating, so that's fine, you carry on.
Special project complete.
We were successful in our attempt to record the collision between Oshimir 10 and its moon. The event was captured from several different angles and transmitted live throughout our space. Most importantly, our scientists, under the leadership of An Lu, were able to record a large amount of valuable physics data that will surely benefit our research. Marvellous! An Lu gains 200 experience, and physics research gained 150. Excellent. And then they're just going to go straight to surveying the thing. And oh look, An Lu has levelled up. That's a surprise. He's now level 3. That's really good. Okay, let's crack on. So one of the things that it's important to be aware of with Stellaris is that the alien civilizations you're going to encounter will vary in terms of who you get next to you. So you can actually set it so the same people will crop up every time, but you never set where they're going to appear. Now, I have had games where I've been very quickly hemmed in by very aggressive, very expansionist civilizations. What's this say? Orbital Speed Demon. Attempts to scan the object in high-speed orbit of Z9-63089 have been unsuccessful. The object quickly falls below Z9-63089's horizon, and the Equinox's instruments are simply unable to keep up. Whilst Z9-63089's gravitational pull is strong, that alone does little to explain the object's extreme momentum. Either the object itself possesses some extraordinary properties, or there is some gravitational phenomenon at work here. The object's velocity appears to be increasing over time, and Science Officer Soletta suspects it may soon be thrown out of orbit, even without outside interference. So we can try and slow it down, we can attempt to halt it, or we can get away from it. Now, I think actually we want to stop it so we can try and find out what it is. So let's do that. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've had games where I've... good. The ejected debris successfully collided with the unknown object, reducing its velocity before knocking it out of orbit. The Equinox is able to retrieve it soon thereafter. The object looks to be some sort of box constructed of alien material. Vein-like ridges meander along its sides, congregating at the top in some type of sphere-shaped mechanism. We can only guess at its contents. We're humans, we're scientists, we are only going to open it.
Situation log updated.
Because that's the sort of silly thing that us monkeys do. Right, we're going to put on hold our current physics research to open the box. This will take about 20 months and means that our current research of the zero-G laboratories is on hold. But that's fine. It was nearly done anyway, so that's right. Yeah, so try and finish that sentence again for the third time. Yeah, you can start the game next to really, really aggressive alien civilizations and just get curb stomped. Or you can have games a bit like this one, where there doesn't appear to be anybody really particularly close by, which is great. So it gives us a bit of breathing space, a bit of room, we can expand a little bit. And even if worst comes to worst and we are cut off, we should have enough resources and planets to be able to sort of tick over and create quite a nice little civilization. Part of the fun of this game, for me anyway, isn't necessarily winning,
complete.
But actually just constructing a pleasant, nicely running civilization that would be nice to live in if I was alive in it. So, going over to Eden just for a moment, we've got 3 agriculture districts built, we've got 3 energy districts built, 3 generator districts. I've got to stop calling them energy districts. And we've got 8 that we can build immediately and another 4 that are blocked off. So we've got plenty of housing, so that's good. What we really want to be building is more agriculture districts. They are, however, 300 mineral pop, so we don't have any immediate need for it, so we're going to leave it for a minute. On the other hand, we are now running at a negative energy credits, which isn't great. So we will be wanting fairly quickly this extra generator district to be done, and I am in fact contemplating stopping building the city district and putting a generator district above it. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to put the city district on hold. You can see what I did there was I just moved the item down. So they've started to build the generator district instead. As soon as that's done, they'll pick up where they left off on the city district. Okay. Yeah, so every game of Stellaris is different, it always plays different, and that's one of the things that I really like about it. There's a really high replay value, which is great. And it's not just about the civilizations that you construct and how you make them. You can make the same civilization every time, and you're still going to get a different game every time, which is great. That's something that's really good, really like about it. There's a lot of add-ons as well. If I'd thought about it, I'd tell you exactly what I'm running. I might put that in the description below, actually. And what version of the game I'm on, and what expansions I've got, and all that sort of stuff. Right. So things are running reasonably smoothly. Nothing particularly busy is happening just yet. I thought it was going to get busy last playthrough. It didn't. Or at least hasn't become unmanageable yet. So I'm going to bump the speed up a bit. And if it becomes hard to keep up with, then I'll knock the
Anomaly
speed down.
found.
LK122646 in Medak. Our survey has uncovered something that can only be described by the science team as mystical. We would need to investigate the phenomenon in more detail to unshroud this mystery. Well, let's find out. We can't have any mysticism with our science. Let's be rational about these things and get some research done.
Research complete.
I'm going to pause it here. So we have now completed research of long-range mineral scanners. So mineral mining station output is up by 10, so that's really good. That will impact the energy credits, the minerals and the alloys. And let's have a look. So planet build speed plus 25%. Minerals from miners on the ground increased. That would only really affect 2 districts on Earth, so it's not that important. Corvette hull points. That's probably worth doing. Yeah, let's go for some improved Corvette hull points. And then we've got tradition. So we completed the expansion tree in the previous episode, so now we're going to look at a new one. Discovery, I think, is quite a good one at this stage in the game. Adopting it gives you faster research speed of anomalies, and if we finish the tree, we get plus 10% to our research speed. The first couple of options are really good. The first one, To Boldly Go, now that is just a straight reference of Star Trek. There's loads of science fiction references, I've only spotted a few of them. And then the science division as well, which increases research alternatives and makes your scientists level cap higher and things like that. So we're going to adopt Discovery. Because we don't really want to dominate anybody just yet. We're not all about the prosperity. Harmony's probably quite a good one. Diplomacy would be a good one. So I think once we complete Discovery, it'll be a choice between diplomacy and harmony, unless we've bumped into somebody that wants to have a war with us, in which case we might have to go for supremacy, which is good for rapidly pumping out ships and fighting. Right, there we go. See, the increase from the mining stations has pulled us out of a problem with our energy credits and increased the amount of minerals we're getting each month, which is great. Now, hopefully, fairly soon with Eden, we will be able to put some buildings in, and I can either increase the consumer goods or try and achieve our what our leader was elected to do, which is increase the amount of alloys. I might go for that one, just to get the bonus.
System survey complete.
Right, the Oshimir has finished its survey, so we're going to go down to this system here, survey that one. First Citizen Schultz has levelled up. We've surveyed the Oshimir system, and Kirsten Keller has levelled up. Right. Okay, so the Darwin is surveying Vaya. I'll bring that down there as well. And Earth is building its city district.
Anomaly found.
Ooh. Scanning the star, the Vaya system unveils a small object in rapid orbit. Its small size and high velocity make it difficult for our sensors to isolate. Well, isolate it. Find out what it is. What we're really looking for is Irasian artifacts, which is why I'm pushing my science ships out this way rather than expanding this way. Once we get the Noble over here, I'll build another ship and send it around that way. Purple rain. Images capturing Malthula B4's mesmerizing purple-coloured rain, taken by the UNHS Cortez's surface exploration probes, somehow find their way into the hands of the cultural elite on Earth. While the discovery is of no scientific value, the evocative imagery of the colourful precipitation sparks a minor renaissance in the human art world, the positive effects of which shall be felt for years to come. Remarkable. This gives us the Inspired Arts modifier for 20 years? 240 months, is that right? 12 years is... 12 months is 1 year, 120 months is 10 years. Yeah, 20 years. 20 years of plus 10% happiness across our civilization. That's pretty good. I've just been informed that Purple Rain is a Prince song. I feel that's something I probably should have known, and I'm admitting to you all I had no idea, but there we go. That's the link there. That would also explain why it's a cultural renaissance. Right. See, there we go. You have to keep an eye on these things, because I hadn't noticed that the Cortez had actually finished surveying Malthula. So I've lost a little bit of research time, surveying time here.
Construction complete.
What have we finished building? Planet Earth has finished its construction queue. Okay, so we've still got one district left, so I could max out the city districts.
Research complete.
But I think at the moment I'm just going to leave it. What have we researched? Population growth speed plus 10%. By mapping the genomes of individuals through the sequencing of their DNA, this opens up tailored medical treatments and therapies. Cool. New research. Ground defense planning, perhaps. Hydroponics farming, we don't really need that just yet. Adaptive bureaucracy, that reduces the cost of our leaders, which is going to be quite good. And makes them all, produces a larger pool size when we're hiring them. Naval capacity. I think we'll go for the adaptive bureaucracy at the moment. Right. 500 alloys. I think we'll build that picket ship now. Ooh, what's this? The tree. Among the asteroids around LK-122646, a tree is drifting through the emptiness of space. An unprecedented and highly unlikely event. The tree is surrounded in a protective bubble, reminiscent of an energy shield. Suddenly we detect some hostile space dwellers on approach. This coincided with some sap leaking through the tree's shield while we collected samples. Could it have agitated the creatures? We need to figure out what is going on. Special project, The Tree.
Situation log updated.
Oh dear. Unidentified alien vessels. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's 3 space amoeba with a total power of 1.1k, which is 10 times the military power of our entire military fleet. So I think the sensible decision here is to run away. So let's do that. We'll send the construction ship running away, and we'll get the Equinox over here as well. Because frankly, the last thing I want is for the Equinox to be exploded horribly. What was I saying about picket ships? Yeah, we need to build some. We might need to build a few more than that as well. Okay. That would give us 400 alloys. So if we build a K, I and E class corvette as well, that will at least give us a basis on which to build. Here we go, yeah, evading hostile fleet. The Equinox has encountered a hostile alien vessel's fleet and is currently attempting to invade them. Good. Right, the Orim system, Orim 6, which is over here. Fang Zhao says, there are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization excellent on this inhospitable rock. Well, research it then. Okay, so the Equinox is fleeing and the Pacific is fleeing. I told them to do it, but they knew what it was about. And the hostile fleet is present. The tree is available, but there's no time limit on that. We just have to find a way of avoiding the alien beings and scan this tree. Okay, let's have a look then. So we're okay with Earth at the moment. Eden is coming along nicely. Again, I think what we might do actually just now is might build
System survey complete.
No, we'll leave the agricultural districts for a moment. Right, okay, so we've got a couple of completed surveys now, so we'll send the Noble over here. Get that surveying over there. And the Pacific will just wait for a moment, I think. So what I was going to do originally was build another science ship and get it going this way over to
Special
the
project
galactic
complete.
east. Oh, what's this? Alien box opened. At long last, our scientists have penetrated the outer material of the alien box. The box holds 3 small liquid-filled vials, 1 red, 1 blue and 1 green. The liquids are less alien than their container, and our scientists have identified them as primed gene modification mediums. For reasons beyond our understanding, the solutions are quickly deteriorating outside their alien container, but there should be enough time to synthesize and apply one of them to our species. It has been confirmed its effects would be positive, but exactly how remains to be seen. Okay, so basically we're going to randomly genetically modify all humans. Now, I have played this before, so I have a rough idea of what does what. Blue increases your lifespan, green makes worlds more inhabitable, or rather makes us more adaptable, so we're able to inhabit worlds that are harsher than normal. And red, I think, makes us stronger in battle, something along those lines. I think, actually, we will go for the blue solution, because we could sell them for 1,000 energy credits and 495 minerals, which would be useful, I'm not going to lie, but the long-term effects of the modification for the whole species is going to be better. So we're going to apply the blue solution and see what happens. There we go, genetic modification complete. The blue gene modification solution has been successfully administered to the human people. Based on preliminary observations of early subjects, the solution appears to increase our potential lifespan. Excellent. This modifies POPs in United Nations of Humanity by adding the limited regeneration trait. Let's have a look and see what that does. Somewhere. Where are we? Species? Species. Limited regeneration? Limited regeneration. Maybe it's not appeared yet. Let's find out. Ooh, what's this? The probability conundrum. Excuse me. We have gotten a report from Science Officer Hutchinson. It seems that a ceramic container is circling the star Vega. Most peculiar. It should obviously not be there, yet somehow it has managed to find its way into a close orbit. A special project can be issued to investigate the container and try to deduce how it ended up there. A conundrum worth investigating, which issues a special project, or all questions don't have worthwhile answers, which gives us some influence. I think what we'll actually do with this one is we'll have a conundrum worth investigating, because, again, curious monkeys. Let's do that.
Situation log updated.
So, improbable ceramics, go to. Here we go. Now, again, there's no time limit on the special project. I want to get the system surveyed first, so we'll queue the order and we'll research that project after we've surveyed the system. Now, I've just noticed that our influence has increased quite a bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get the Jordan to go up to Kavzek and claim these minerals here, which will cost us 52 influence and 100 alloy. Because minerals are good. Minerals are important. Right.
Fleeing aggressors.
Oh no! We've run straight into them again. We have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Corinth system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Interesting. Contact report. Enigmatic spacefarers. The United Nations of Humanity has finally encountered fellow wanderers among the stars. Despite their intentions being unknown and potentially even hostile, the atmosphere on Earth following the report from our contact fleet can best be described as rapturous. Intriguing. Okay, so the Equinox has just bounced off Medak because of the tree and the aliens in there, and we've now run into the Alpha aliens. Let's have a look, see if we can see what they look like. Ah, okay. So these are Space Leviathans, and I think we can actually just work out how to be ignored by them. I think they're really cute. They're quite dangerous, but they're particularly right now for us. But they're also pretty cute, and they make a funny noise. It's sort of like a cross between whales and starfish, maybe, or jellyfish. They're cool anyway. Right, well, let's get that underway. Investigate Alpha Aliens. We need to learn more about the mysterious aliens we've codenamed Alpha Aliens. If they possess a language, we must decipher it and establish communications. This rewards us either with influence or a special project. Let's go ahead. Right. Okay, cool. Once the Equinox gets back to Nekar, we'll send it up that way and try and get it to do something vaguely useful. Okay, let's carry on.
Construction complete.
Ah, the first fleet has been expanded. So we now have 8 ships in it. Got 1 E-class, 1 I-class, 1 K-class, and 5 P-class. With a total strength of 300. Not great. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's also nowhere near powerful enough
Fleeing aggressors.
against any of these. That's
Fleeing
not great.
aggressors.
So they're chasing us.
Science ship taking damage.
Oh no. Disaster.
Anomaly found.
Right, let's have a look at this anomaly and then we'll try and work out what's happened to our science ship and the Pacific. Nizataram 1A. Where's that? That's over here. Unusual energy readings. We briefly detected some unusual energy readings emanating from this moon. It might have been a glitch in our systems, or it could be a sign of something more. Well, let's research it and find out. Okay, so at least one of our fleets have gone missing in actions. They haven't been destroyed, they've just gone off-grid. And they will reappear in 3 months' time. So we can't use them for a while. They'll probably reappear over here somewhere. I'm just hoping that these aliens don't come this way, because at the moment, if they're hostile, our fleet is nowhere near capable of fighting them.
Construction complete.
At least not successfully anyway. Okay, so we're going to build mining and research stations in Kavzek, and that will give us access to... Ooh, what's this? To some more minerals, which will be really useful. Magnetic reversal. The magnetic field of Nizataram 1A experienced a complete reversal while it was being observed by the UNHS Noble. This rare event has interchanged the positions of the moon's magnetic poles. Fortunately, it was all recorded by the sensors of our ship, providing our scientists with a lot of valuable data. Intriguing. Gives us an extra 150 physics research, which is useful. Speeds things up a bit.
Special project complete.
Okay. The entities encountered by our fleets some time ago are new, wondrous forms of spaceborne life. Quickly nicknamed Space Amoeba, following an analyst's gross misreading of initial sensor output, the creature is in fact larger than the average United Nations corvette. We should leave it be and remotely monitor the creature and its kin from Earth. And we've got 2 options. We've got Fascinating Creatures, which issues the special project Space Amoeba Study, or we have We Can Learn to Coexist, which is the amoeboid pacification. Now, I don't think that there's any reason why the United Nations of Humanity would have any aggressive intentions towards this incredible life in space. And I think if we can try and live together, live peacefully, coexist without harming each other, we should do that. So let's learn to coexist.
Situation log updated.
We've got a lot of special projects. Okay, so now this one. Something about our fleet seems to agitate the space amoebas. If we could isolate what this something is, we could reduce amoeba aggression or possibly completely mask our ships from their sensors. It's going to take a while, 49 months, but we're going to do it. Because the benefits far outweigh the delay. Faction founded. Politics! Right, a new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the UNH. Led by scientist Kaharu Hasegawa, they call themselves the Association of Research Efficiency. Their members have been pushing hard for the advancement of the sciences. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but one that approves of the government's actions could be useful. Okay, and we've got another one. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the UN of Humanity. Led by David Payne, they call themselves the Friends of Liberty Initiative. Their members work for equality and justice for all denizens of our new empire. So, let's have a quick look at the factions and see what they are and what they want. Right, so the Friends of Liberty are anti-autocratic, which is good because we are too. Demand free movement, which we have. Reproductive freedoms, which we have. And anti-stratification, which we do because we have a welfare system which will eventually become a utopian post-scarcity system. The Association of Research Efficiency has only one issue. AI allowed. That's fine. We do that. Now the positive thing about this is, as you can see here, we are actually now going to increase the amount of influence we get each month by over 2. So we're going to go from +3 to +5, which is fantastic. There will eventually be more political parties. I hope, I hope that we can get them all to this level of, nothing. We can please them to such an extent that they give us as much support as they can, which is great. So let's carry on, and that should go up in a moment. I hope. Yep, there we go. So +4. So my maths, there you go, is... Oh, it's changed, that's why.
Anomaly found.
What's this? We are receiving a weak signal from the surface of this planet, Nezatarom 2. The source appears to be some kind of tracking beacon. Well, isolate it and find out. Alright. The campaign to elect a new Chancellor is underway. There we go. Okay, so we weren't able then to complete the alloy one. I did say that was going to be easy, but unfortunately, because I built the theatre instead of the alloy plant, we couldn't quite get enough population quick enough to fulfill that. Never mind. Kaharu Hasegawa has been elected as first citizen of the United Nations of Humanity. Consult the situation log for details on their mandate. And here, our first citizen's reign has come to an end with the election campaign promises unfulfilled. Okay. So, they have Urbanizer. First citizen Kaharu Hasegawa was elected on a platform of expanding UN urban centres by constructing 2 additional city districts. This gives us 6 months' worth of unity. That's fine, we can do that now. So, we'll put 1 on Earth, build, and 1 on Eden, build. There we go. And unlike her 2 predecessors, first citizen Hasegawa will actually complete the platform on which she was elected. Now, the Equinox has returned from duty. Returned from its fleeing the aliens. We're going to go and send it over here to survey that system. And also the Pacific. I'll send the Pacific over there as well. Right, so what happened? Where did Hasegawa come from? I know what's happened. The previous leader... Maybe? Maybe not. Has the previous leader... Yes, there we go. Klaus Schultz, who was the previous first citizen, has replaced Hasegawa as the engineering chief. Great, good, okay. We don't have to hire anybody new. Everything just carries on smoothly. That's good.
System survey complete.
Anomaly. A Class 12 asteroid orbits the Vega 7A. The small planetoid's orbit appears far too stable for its presence to be a natural occurrence. Let's find out. Okay, Vance Hutchinson's leveled up. Vega system has been fully surveyed, but they are now researching... What are they doing over here? They're researching this anomaly, and then they're going to go and research the improbable ceramics. And hopefully, if we can get amoeba pacification, we'll be able to come past Nekar again. In the meantime, we've got all of this to deal with, so that's fine. We've got plenty to do. Normally, I just leave the factions minimised because...
Fleeing aggressors.
Oh no. The life tree protectors. Now this is an issue because they will just float around, and at some point you just have to engage them. Right, Ancient Survey Marker. A small, short-range transmitter has been located on the surface of Nezatarom 2. It appears to be an ancient survey marker, placed here eons ago to mark a large deposit of precious metals. The miners it was meant for evidently never arrived, as the deposit is still here. Fascinating. Which adds 4 extra minerals to Nezatarom 2. So its mineral count will go up from 2 to 6. That's pretty good. Right, okay. That's a pain. Does mean that we can get past them now, but I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't come this way? Never mind. Let's have a look at our fleet. Is there anything we can do to build the fleet up? Well, we can probably build another couple of ships. We've got 242 alloys. So let's build a K-class and an E-class. That'll bring the first fleet up to half strength. I mean, it's not going to be enough to finish off the life tree protectors or in any way inconvenience them, but it might, you know, slow them down a bit. Towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into a stable orbit around Vea 7A. The massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they have long since been rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but these operations were seemingly abandoned shortly after they began. Interesting, which adds +3 engineering research to Vea 7A. That's fine. And then they're going to go and do the improbable ceramics now. Right, I'm sending Cortez to explore because the Equinox is going to actually survey this system. The reason I'm having them explore is so that they can slip past the life tree protectors, I hope, go down via Oblion and Neckar to Medach, maybe, if I'm lucky, but it might be that because there's a previous encounter, I'll have to take them off evasive and force them to go there. Don't know. We'll have a look, see what happens anyway. Faction founded. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the UNH. Led by Klaus Schultz, they call themselves the Xeno Justice Lobby. Their members have been pushing hard for friendly relations with alien species. So, as I was saying a second ago, before all of that happened over here, factions, I try and keep that tab minimised, mainly because it's not hugely important, particularly in the early game. However, I do get to show you what it looks like when we haven't pleased a faction. No purges. Well, we don't want to purge anybody anyway, so that's good. But new contact. Establishing communications with other empires will please the Xeno Justice Lobby for a time. So, in other words, we can't keep them permanently happy by just doing something. We have to constantly go and find new aliens to say hello to. The main problem with that is you will eventually run out of aliens, so they're always going to be a little bit miffed. What can you do? Not a lot. But that's fine. So you can see here the approval rating is 50% as opposed to 75 and 60%. But that's okay because they're still giving us almost 0.4 of influence a month. So that might even go up to 5 now. Don't know. Fingers crossed. No, I don't think it did it? Never mind. Okay.
Construction complete.
What have we constructed? We've constructed some more stuff for the first fleet. Right. Cortez is going down there. You're going down there as well. First fleet is now at 397 strength. Ooh dear. I think we're going to have to really have a look at some upgrades there because even if we double it, it's still less than the life tree protectors. If we do have to fight them, I don't want to be at parity, I want to be stronger than them. Anomaly, Nizata M3. Gosh, there's a lot of anomalies in this system. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? Let's find out. And we've got some traditions. So we can have To Boldly Go, which increases survey speed by 35% and makes our science ships more likely to get away from enemies. And is a Star Trek reference, so I'm leaning towards that anyway. Or there's Science Division, which increases research alternatives by 1 and makes our scientists have a higher level cap. We're going to go for To Boldly Go, and the reason for that is because it makes it faster to survey systems, and at this stage in the game we want to survey systems as quickly as we can.
Research complete.
Improved corvette hulls. That's good. So that just automatically happens. We don't have to upgrade them. Start that sentence again. That just automatically happens. We don't have to upgrade anything. It just is a thing. So all our corvettes now get an extra 100 hull points. And I am concerned about our military. So we're going to go for the coil gun and just make some of them, the kinetic K-class, the picket and the interceptors, a little bit more powerful. Powered exoskeletons would have been what I normally went for because it increases minerals from jobs on planets. and makes our armies a bit more powerful. But in the event, in the current situation, I think we'll have to go for the coil gun. Ancient life pod. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Nizataron 3. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. So, to put that into perspective, that would be 3000 BC, give or take. The crew of the UNHS Nobel managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in a resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or revered leader. Interesting. This increases our society research by 150. And tells us that we are not alone, but we knew that already. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this moon, Rasalgethi 5A. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? That's interesting. Pretty similar to the one we discovered in Nizataron. Let's find out what that one means. Okay. And Oublion. Can we go through here? Right, I'm going to pause it for a second. So the Cortez isn't letting me go into Nekar because there's hostile intel there. So I'm going to turn it to passive and see if we can send them there. We can, so that's good. Let's get them to go and research projects in that system. We're going to keep the Colorado there because I don't think it's going to be of any use over here at the moment anyway. Right.
Construction complete.
Good. Okay, mummified pilot. The mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species have been found drifting in high orbit over Rasalgethi 5A. The being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit, complete with helmet, and maybe a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle, only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse has provided some interesting data. A tragic fate. 150 society research. That is pretty bleak when you think about it. And Soletta has leveled up. I think Soletta was the one that found it. Yeah, there we go. And Eden and Earth have both finished building their city districts, which means that we have completed Kaharo Hasegawa's platform of expanding the urban centres. On the downside, our monthly energy credit gain is now at minus 0.61, so we need to rectify that fairly quickly. I think the best way of doing that actually is going to be building an outpost in Malthula and getting some energy credits from that. Because we can't add any more generators to either Eden or Earth. We could colonise Sirius, though, I think, once we get... Yes, let's make that our next goal, then. We want to increase the size of the fleet and its potency, and we want to colonise Sirius. Those are the two things I'm going to try and achieve over the next few minutes, and hopefully this episode. But we shall see. Actually, if I'd been sensible, I would have timed it all, so I knew how long I've been recording. Something for next time, perhaps. Okay. Nizataron's a good system, look at that. Alloys, motes, gases, minerals, trade. Right, I'm going to stop the video here. This is actually because I originally was going to record for 1 hour, and that was going to be episode 2, but I didn't put a timer on. I didn't track how long I was playing, and I played for 2 hours instead of 1. So episode 3, which is going to air tomorrow, is in fact the end of what I originally thought was going to be episode 2. So do please come back tomorrow. There's going to be a lot more stuff happening. A lot of stuff did happen in the next hour's worth of gameplay, and it puts us in quite an interesting position, and the United Nations of Humanity in an interesting place, so do come back for that. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, please subscribe, tell all your friends, tell everyone who's interested in Stellaris, who might want to play it, who hasn't played it, or who has played it a lot and just wants to see what other people make of it, to come and give it a watch. Stick around, maybe have a look at some of my other videos, and I shall see you all tomorrow around about 6 o'clock GMT. Thank you very much.